Welcome back to the Fast Life Podcast, which is brought to you by Simpson motorcycle helmets. I'm sure you heard of them by now, especially if you listen to this podcast. Check them out at simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com, where you can find out all the different options they have for you, from different helmet models, finishes, and visor options. They got what you need to look as cool as I know you are. Check them out at simpsonmotorcyclehelmets.com and on the gram at Simpson Motorcycle Helmets. On today's episode, I sit down with somebody. If you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, you know all about young Sax Media. He used to work here at the Fast Life Garage. He used to run the podcast for us. He's since moved to Salt Lake City and blazed his own trail there, and he's doing so much rad stuff, and I was honored to basically have him on the podcast as a guest. I met this dude in my backyard around a bonfire back in like 2017, I think, and he immediately became close to us at the Fast Life and helped us start the bike night, was always at the campouts, and I don't know, he's just a very, very close friend, and I'm so stoked with all the things he's got going on for him, and wanted to have him on the podcast to talk about it. So in this episode, we're talking about all that good shit that Sax is doing. So let's get into these sponsors, and then we're going to jump right into this episode with Sax Media. Over the past year, Cowboy Harley-Davidson has been putting in the work to help bring together various aspects of the motorcycle culture within the Austin, Texas community. They have supported not only the podcast, but also many local bike events and shows, including our FXR tour. I want to express my gratitude to the entire staff at Cowboy Harley for their support. I've had the pleasure of purchasing 2 bikes from Cowboy Harley-Davidson in my lifetime. Most recently, I bought a Lowrider ST, which was dialed in with a few custom parts that I pretty much got to have on every bike. Whether you are in the market for a new or used Harley-Davidson or looking to get your motorcycle customized, repaired, or simply maintained, you can count on their professional parts and service departments to get your bike dialed. To get in touch with them, you can visit their website, cowboyharleyaustin.com, or simply drop in and start a conversation about your next or even your first Harley-Davidson. And don't forget to give them a follow on the gram to stay up to date with all the other happenings and events going around in the Austin, Texas area. I have been using Lexin moto products for the past 6 years, and they have been an integral part of my riding experience. My journey with them started with their original FT4 headset and tire pump, but now I've upgraded to their top-of-the-line Novus headset, which features 40mm Lexin Plus speakers, CVC and DSP noise cancellation technology. With the Mesh 3.0 power technology behind it, I can connect with up to 32 riders on any given ride. Their new P5 Advanced Smart Tire Pump is a must-have for every biker. I always keep one in my garage, and it comes in handy during long trips if my phone battery or tire pressure is low. For more information on these fantastic products, check out their website, lexin-moto.com, and don't forget to use the offer code FASTLIFE at checkout to save you 15% on your order. And lastly, head on over to Instagram and give these guys a follow at Lexin Moto.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
Well, here we are, dude. I've known you since we started doing podcasts, and now here we are, 6 years in, and you get your own podcast.
Yeah, I think we tried to do this before. I'm not really known to be the best at, talking much, but I've had a few drinks, so I might be good
Better?
this time. Yeah.
Well, the reason I guess I would say that I wanted to do a podcast with you is you have a big project that should be releasing right around the same time that we would release this podcast.
Yeah.
And that project is both big for you, myself, and a lot of other people. And with that being said, it's also like showing the progress of when people that follow this podcast first heard about you. You were kind of behind the scenes of the podcast. And now, within a year or 2 years from that point in time, now here you are kind of like carving your own path out, if you will. And to me, like, that's the thing that you have to, my job is to show the world that, you know what I mean? Like, hey, look, you can go see this guy, you can hear this guy's progress behind the scenes. And not that like, okay, you made it on the Fast Life podcast, that means something. That it's more of a, like, I want people to now pay attention more than they ever have to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I appreciate you, even thinking of having me on as just me. Usually if I'm on the mic, there's other people to kind of carry the conversation when I can't. And even if I'm not on the camera, I'll say stuff here and there. Yeah. But I'm super excited for this video. The tour, it didn't go as planned for me, as I planned in my head. I know the first attempt at something like that isn't going to be very well organized. I know that you had it all organized from the get-go, but things just still didn't work out that way.
Definitely is it's a hard thing to do, to organize that many things to go and work perfectly without kind of having a trial run, which is kind of what ended up happening. I think this was a trial run of understanding what needs to happen and how it needs to happen. But, the same way that you envisioned a video, a way to tell the story, which none of us really knew what this story was going to be, right? So you just you're playing out how you might think the FXR tour or this whole thing would go be. Yeah. And then trying to plan how you would show the world that and capture it without actually knowing. Because in my head, the way that I envisioned us traveling from Durango to Born Free, Texas was nowhere near what it looked like, but I wouldn't say that in the heat of it. Yeah, I would say that it was all this and that, and it was, if we would have done this, but and now removed from it, the more or less the animosity is gone, or the pointing a finger is gone. It's like it happened the way it happened, and that's what it is. And now you kind of see all the nuances that make something like that be what it is. Yeah. And I know that we're dancing around words here, audience. I'm sorry. But, there's this tour was a lot for a lot of us, and, it meant a lot, and it costed a lot, and it invoked a lot. And it's hard to be honest about how it was without trying to point a finger or trying to make it, if you would ask me the week after, then I was pissed about a lot of things. But now I'm like, I've grown from it, and I'm able to look at it with a different lens, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how I felt. Like in the moment I went into this, I had it all played out in my head, the shots I needed, and, how I wanted to go about making this documentary. But then once you're thrown out there into it and everything doesn't go the way that you were thinking, I mean, I was pretty upset myself, just like, man, how am I supposed to make a documentary if nobody's around for me to shoot them, But it was kind of adapt and overcome type of situation, and it helped me realize what needs to be done in the future and things that I can progress on. Like, I'm not very good at directing people. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want the FXR tour to be staged. A TV show, I want to capture the real shit. Yeah. I don't want to capture, all right, you stand here and say this.
You walk in and throw this part on the ground.
Yeah.
And say, what the fuck?
Act like you're mad. Yeah. No, yeah. I feel like it's still, even though there's still a little bit that I missed filming, I still feel like I'm able to pull together pretty good story, or at least a baseline, and at least tell everyone watching, like, they can definitely see how everything went down. And
do you think that people that have no idea what the tour is could watch that video and get an understanding of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think my fiance Shannon is definitely prime example of that. She's got no clue on what we're doing and why we're doing it, but then every time I make progress on this video, I'm just like, hey babe, check it out. Yeah. And she's just like, wow, like, it's a form of explanation, I guess. She I don't know if she's just blowing smoke up my ass, but she says she can, feel and see what I'm trying to do. So I just hope that everybody else can see it as well.
Yeah. No, after seeing the small amount that you showed me, I feel like it's going to definitely, anybody that was involved in it, like the other 10 builders, other 9 builders, whatever, there's no way they're not going to cherish this video the same way that we cherish, my generation cherishes whiskey. the biker build off shows that we watched before, you know. Is it, you know, you're one dude in the back of a fucking truck going down Interstate 40 trying to, you know, herd cats for the most part into being into these shots, and you know, yeah, that's one of the learning curves of this, right? Like, you know, would you say that the hardest part was like figuring out what you were going to do before you did it, but then realizing how do you wrangle everything in and almost like cowboy the herd into staying in somewhere in the realm of vision that you had for it?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously the end product is going to turn out like a movie or something, you know, if we're sitting there directing everybody to do things, but I feel like it tells more of a story and it's more real if you just catch it while it's happening. And, you know, people aren't aware there's a camera on them at that moment. Yeah. I think that tells a better story.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because the more or less the candid interactions that you can capture would help kind of fill like the void of like setting the tone of what people's personalities and whatnot is really like. It's easy for us all to turn on the announcer voice whenever it's time to be on a camera. For some of us, not me, but you know, some of us, main drive. But yeah, when you're, you know, you have to be in front of a camera for a lot for you to get so comfortable that you actually start to use that time to be more retrospective, more, you know, introspective of like how you feel about something for real. Like, you know, because most of us don't know. I don't think that any of us really knew how we felt about it while we were in it. We were kind of like all lustfully in it because we wanted to get there so bad, and we're there. It's like, you don't, you know, everything is like the first time, you know. It's like, it's amazing. And then even like the things that started to suck, we're still, oh fuck, we're here though, you know. So there's that. But like, how do you, you know, like trying to put a video together to show the world something? And I, you know, honestly, until tonight, like I didn't realize how much I think that myself and Justin are relying on you and what you're doing to help us tell the story, you know, because we've done the podcast, we've put out the content of why we wanted to do the FXR tour and why it mattered to us, but still it feels like people are not, like the people that are not consuming the content that we make about it, they're forming their own opinion about it, and it's so ass backwards from what it actually was. I think your video, from the small part that I saw, is literally going to be the saving grace as to setting the standard or tone or, you know, intention that we had behind it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, when things didn't exactly go as planned, I felt like I wasn't getting enough footage, and I was, you know, I was emotional. Everything was just running through my head because I'm very dedicated to this, and I want to put every last drop I got into it, and I'm still going to. I still am. Some of the footage may not be my best, I feel like, but it's still the best I can do with that footage.
Like I said, from what I've seen, I think that and of course, nobody wants to make art with the context of this is my first big video. You know, you don't want to put that caveat out there as a way of like trying to, you know, buy you a pass for why certain things might not have been perfect. But the truth be told, like, regardless of whether you want to play that card or not, like, this is your first big video where it's your first video where there's interviews in it. There's actual like dialogue. Yeah. You know, and then pulling dialogue in this, like what you're pulling off so far from what I've seen is definitely not something to shy away from, you know, because there's no way that even I looking at it, I was like, fuck, I couldn't pull that off right now. And I feel like I'm pretty versed in a lot of this shit, but I don't feel like I'm there, you know? And I think that has a lot to do with like vision and the artistic nature that you have that is now being shown through this video. Yeah. You know, that intro, how you pulled that together and pulling the different elements, it's almost like fuck, I didn't know you had that in you. not as a dig, but like yo, like
that's what I want everybody to think.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that people think bad of my work or anything.
Yeah.
It's just I want people to know I can do more. I appreciate everybody that is always supporting me and feeding my ego, telling me, you know, how good my shit is. And I love that. And I appreciate everybody for that. But, you know, as good as I do, it's just something that we as artists do. We critique our own stuff, and I'm constantly thinking that I could do better. I mean, when I was showing you, I was literally sitting there just like, fuck, shit, that's not good. Damn it. He probably thinks that's stupid, but...
Having a brand like Arlen Ness support the Fast Life podcast is absolutely surreal. Decades before I fell in love with motorcycles, the Ness brand was right there innovating and inspiring generation after generation. The brand's long-standing history and dedication to the custom motorcycle industry is truly remarkable. I have been fortunate enough to use many of their products on my Road Glide, Lowrider ST, and FXR chopper over these past few years. I love their 4 and 6 piston brake calipers, wheels, and bagger mid controls. And I use Arlen Ness air cleaners on all my bikes. And even after thousands of miles, the parts still look and feel new. If you're interested in learning more about the Arlen Ness motorcycle products, head on over to arlenness.com, where you can find out more information and see their vast catalog. And for our listeners, if you drop the Fast Life 10 offer code at checkout, you're going to save yourself 10% on your order. And don't forget to give these guys a follow on Instagram at Arlen Ness Motorcycles to stay up to date with all the happenings around the brand. Now let's get back to the show. I looked at it like, you know, like first off, I'm not a big enough critic to be able to say, you know, this is good or that's bad. What I did talk to you about was like pre-production shit, you know, but that's just more like, I feel like I should say something, even though I don't really feel like I need to, but maybe I should just like act like I have a, you know, piece to put into this or whatnot. But no, the video, I think that the intro, which is something that I remember you talking about while we were on the tour, like you had an idea for it. So even how you were able to capture that and fill it in was dope.
Which is another thing that, you know, I wasn't able to actually shoot like I wanted. Yeah. But we made it happen.
Yeah, we figured it out. Yeah. We kind of rallied. What I think transpired from it is probably, it truly is something special, but until this video comes out, I think that it's just people hearing us say it's special, but they have no real understanding of what it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody could make that ride.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big ask to take a week or two off of work to come do this ride, you know. On
top of the money and time you spent building the bike, you know.
Yeah.
On the builder side, but even if you're just like a guy that wants to ride, you know.
People that, you know, the invite was there for whoever to come ride the whole Durango to Born Free. But, you know, not everybody can afford that. And they couldn't be there to experience it and see everything unfold. And I want to be able to show that to everybody. And then that way they can actually see like, wow, this is something special.
Yeah, when all 10 builders are saying how much this meant to them, how can you like throw shade at something that everybody that was actually involved in it loved it? Yeah. They found, you know, something out of it, you know. You know, back, you know, to even, you know, some of the earlier times when you first came to me, in a sense of talking about you wanting to make videos. What was that spark that made you, I mean, because you'd been hanging out with the group, like you were part of the original Anvil 8, you're a part of like the guys that helped create the bike night in Dallas. What was it that like one day you woke up and you're like, man, I think I want to make like videos?
To be completely honest, well, I grew up, you know, we had this conversation on Tucker's podcast. Just visions of, you know, I've always been a real musically inclined person. Music moves me. I have to be listening to music at all times. And I'm constantly thinking of scenarios and cool shots and stuff like that, even when I was a kid. But then the thing that actually really set me off to do it is Sit Down Steve.
That reel.
The reels that he did in Daytona in
2021, I think.
2020.
Wait, no, it was 21 because 2020 was the shit year.
Was it?
Yeah, Daytona got canceled halfway through.
Oh, okay. Well, it was one of those Yeah, so watching just that, short at the time reels were only 30 seconds. Just all of that jam packed into there to a good song. I was like, okay, you can do this now on this platform. And so I took my phone and I started trying to do it. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of telling a story, but not really. I feel like I can do more. My sister just so happened to give me her old hand-me-down Canon 70D. It had actually been laying on my shelf for a while, and I hadn't picked it up. And then one day I decided to pick it up. I went outside and shot a photo of my dog. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. And took it to bike night and decided to do a short reel there. Ever since then, just took off from there.
Yeah.
Every time I make something, I just keep falling more and more just in love with doing it. I feel like I'm getting better at telling stories or like emotions. I really like to shoot dark stuff, like with Chandler, how I did that little clip in downtown on 4th of July. Like that's my shit.
Yeah, the moody stuff, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Making videos is like an art form that I think that I've always respected for the art form, but I wasn't, as thrilled about the real aspect of it. I can see that like Steve's videos, sit down Steve's videos were definitely inspiring to everybody to get into the real game, to make something to kind of also show the world that we're living in a similar fashion, right? But then reels changed.
Yeah.
This is also when Instagram started monetizing reels. So what people started doing is they started figuring out ways to make reels that didn't resonate or mean anything, but it gave you enough information and then it loops.
Yeah.
And so next thing you know, somebody can watch a video 10 times and not even realize it. And so that 10 times however many people turns into 100,000 views. And
I mean, I've made like 2 or 3 funny videos before, but that was just because
y'all had some funny ones back in the day. You and Shannon, yeah.
I was just feeling sporadic, I guess. I don't know. It's like, hey babe, record this, and just did some dumb shit. But it was never to like do any TikTok trend or dance or anything like that. It was just me being me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would never start doing TikTok dances just so I could catch some type of attraction to my content.
Yeah.
I'll always put quality over quantity any day. I feel like I've always been that way, and I know you're that way as well. And that's another thing that pushed me to do more high quality stuff, is being a part of the podcast and standing around watching you shoot your finished products, like your paint, your helmets and stuff, moving the lights for you. I thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah, we experimented a lot though.
Yeah, we did.
I was learning a lot of shit too.
We were learning together, and that was
smoke machines and fucking everything. Yeah. To shoot a fucking Instagram photo, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, it turned out badass though. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing. It's it's fun. It is fun. It's fun it feels good to create. Some of those shots, some of those things that we did, like not the most memorable stuff in the world, but some of it like was like, oh shit, like we're onto something here. Yeah.
No, I dug all that. It was a great time to, because when you started working at the shop, that was a year into even my photography journey. A lot of the things that I was learning how to do, I had just started dabbling in lighting, which is it's a big part or it's not a big part at all, depending on what type of photography you want to create. Right. But it's also a big part of video. Like making videos is like, lights or moods. I've always told people like, when you're riding, you can ride all day long, sun's at the top of the sky. It's midday. It's 3 p.m. But when you're starting to ride at 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, whenever the sun starts to set, something changes. And you might not be able to explain what it is, but it's that feeling, that sunset, that lighting changes and it makes it more just different. And that different lighting, different's too glossy of a word. It creates a mood. And one thing I loved about, and me and my wife were talking about this on the way up here today, on PCH or the one or whatever, like out of San Diego, Oceanside, there's parts where like you drive down that while the sun's setting, and the sun's setting on the ocean at that point, right? People like drive out there, bring lawn chairs, and they soak that shit in. Hey, let's go watch the sunset real quick. And this was on that conversation. We were talking about the mountains here in Salt Lake. How many people just take in these visuals? The joke's been for a while, like you're in a scenic spot in America and this is what the sunset looks like. You're in the grocery store parking lot and it's this fucking gnarly sign, this out of this world sunset, right? Mm-hmm. And me and my wife have made it a point to kind of be more present in that moment and kind of like, even if we're sitting in the car, just chill and look at it.
Yeah, there's a little spot down by the pool here that, before it got cold, we would go down there like, 6 o'clock. And it's right whenever it was starting to go behind the peaks of the mountains over here. Whole sky would light up pink and purple and orange, and it's pretty cool here. So we'll sit out and watch, just soak it in.
Yeah, I don't know what it is that is doing to us as humans, but when you get on that wavelength and you start to like stop yourself in your tracks and watch it and enjoy it and take it in, it's something to it, And the same thing happens whenever you create that same feeling in photography or videos, movies. The way a movie is kind of more or less illuminated, like the way they do the lighting and the mood. Yeah, it sets the tone for what the movie is about.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell the difference in like my work. Things that I were able to control lighting on, where the lighting was coming from, natural, but things I couldn't control, like shooting the riding aspect of the tour. There's nothing you can really do about that. Yeah. Unless you were to point fingers and tell them what to do.
Or make everybody ride in a way at this perfect time of day.
At a certain,
but then you don't get the terrain, you don't get the, like I said, you're herding cats, so you can't, it's hard to pull that off, and everybody involved has to be on board. We're all going to travel across the country on this tour, but we're all doing it at our own comfort and not like, same thing, like you had a vision. My idea was kind of the same along yours. Like I pictured 10 builders riding together bar to bar, going down the road. Yeah. Yeah. And I pictured like the entourages being, a couple car lengths behind, all with us. But those 10 builders up front getting photography, video, and all that stuff. And it, just wasn't that. It's hard to tell other men how to do shit, but it's also like, if we were at a point where, if there was tons and tons of money involved and we had all this shit, then I would probably be a lot more like, yo, dude, no, the fuck in the back of the line. You sit right there and ride. You know what I mean? I love being that guy. But
I was starting to be that guy. Yeah. At one point, I was like, Rennie, add me to this group message. Yeah. And that's when I was like, all right, look, guys, I need you to fucking do this shit. Yeah. Be here. We're doing this. It just had to be that way at some point, or else it would have never happened. I mean, it's not like it wasn't a bad experience or nothing. Just me complaining.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I'm a fucking habitual complainer. But it's like that growing up phase where you're like, okay, well, complaining only feels good to you because you're getting it off your chest, but the person that's absorbing it, like, hey, go just fucking
okay, man,
do something or shut up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Poor Scott, he took the brunt of that in the truck the whole time. These motherfuckers. God damn it.
It feels good to just bitch about it or pass blame. Like it's not pass blame, but it's more like it's an out. Like, okay, I'm doing everything I can. They're not doing their shit, so fuck it. But then, like, I think you kind of came to that same epiphany.
I did. Once we got to strokers, I was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
But then took a deep breath and talked to our good old boy Franz. He's always got some motivational shit to say, and he put me back in my place, and I went on about it.
Got back to work.
Yeah. And that's where I got some of my best shots.
Yeah. It's tough, man. A lot of our industry is kind of so far removed from that type of what we're trying to create, filming on top of writing, on top of all these other things. Even though like guys like TPJ and Justin from Torch, like they've been on, the Biker Build Off TV show stuff. So they have an understanding of it. And honestly, like they were guys that I leaned on heavily for, insight. And more so as I would lean on them more going into the next time, because they had a lot of great feedback as far as like criticism, like constructive criticism to make the tour better. But yeah, man, like trying to, we live in a day and age where it's about content, man. It sucks to say that, but if you don't have a good reel or a good YouTube video to go with whatever that was, did it even happen?
Right. Yeah.
You know?
It's not that interesting if I can't flick my finger and see what happens.
Yeah. The creation of all this stuff is like, for a lot of people like yourself, and I know myself, it's fun because it doesn't feel like a job right now. It's like I want to make a lot of shit. Like I'm sure you do too. I have 1,000 ideas for videos, and I have visions to go with those ideas of how it should look and feel and be. But I'm not quite there yet on all of it. Like as the person in the video, as the filmer, as the editor, that's the hard part. It's like the crawl before you walk thing. And to me, I feel like you're in a unique position because you, as kind of the way you started this podcast, like you are content with being the guy in the behind the camera.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing because, like I was telling you in the car, like when Michael Lichter brought up the concept of like the celebrity of being a photographer versus being a photographer. And I think that naturally you have that thing where you want to create stuff. It's about the art, it's about the image, it's about the video, it's about all that, and not about the me as the person doing it.
Yeah.
What else can I say about the Thundermax products and the team behind them? I have run the Thundermax tuners on my fuel-injected Harleys years before I met the men behind the brand. Now for the last 5 years, Thundermax has not only supported our podcast, but have been a big supporter of everything from small events to the biggest rallies across America. For those of you who are not familiar with the Thundermax tuners, they replace your fuel-injected Harley ECM and O2 sensors with their proprietary ECM module and wideband O2 sensors. This allows your computer to auto-tune itself based on the readings from those wideband O2 sensors. Adding a new exhaust, cam, or big bore kit has never been easier, with the Thundermax units eliminating the need for dyno tuning and its reoccurring costs. To learn more about their products, visit thunder-max.com. If you decide to make a purchase, remember to use the Fast Life offer code at checkout to save 10% on your order. Finally, don't forget to follow the team on Instagram at ThundermaxEFI.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I like to throw a picture of me on there.
Yeah.
Just to, hey, it's me.
Yeah,
I'm doing this shit.
What I look like.
Yeah. But yeah, my main focus is whatever I'm shooting, I want that to be brought to life.
Yeah. What's the concept of, are you able to shoot something for somebody without you being in it and still feel connected to the thing you're creating? Like, I don't know that I have it in me. I think I do. And I'm going to say this as just like a contrast, right? Do I have it in me to leave and go film some guy working in his shop and doing all this cool shit, and then come home and it's not for the podcast, which I'm in, or my YouTube video stuff that I do that I'm in? It's just a complete thing about that person. Like, that's a place that you have to mentally be ready to be in when you're someone that's making videos or being a photographer. You're literally trying to make somebody else look as badass as you can possibly make them look. And it goes out there in the world, and the world does not really think about the photographer or the video creator. They think about the thing that's in it.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said earlier, how I was giving my thanks to all the people that do tell me daily like how good my stuff is, and feeding my ego on that. It's not like it goes unnoticed. There's still people that do appreciate the artist, and I appreciate them. But yeah, most of the time we're making stuff that gives the spotlight to that thing or person, and I'm fine with that. I don't expect them to turn it around and push all the eyes to me because I made it. It was about them in the first place. So that's why I made it, and that's what it's going to be. And if you like my work, then you'll follow the rest of my stuff.
That's a great, I mean, that's the kind of the wisdom that going into this is all about, because fighting with that aspect of like, do I promote me or this or that or this,
I still try to, if it's not like a paying client, I'm slapping my logo right at the beginning of that video, With the FXR tour is a little different. With it being a full-length fucking documentary, I'm going to put some type of, introduction logo.
Yeah.
But just like on Reels and stuff, if they want me to shoot their stuff, I'll slide a little Sax Media thing in there.
Yeah.
But that's about as far as I'll go.
Yeah, putting yourself in it and stuff. When I first started photographing or trying to take pictures of people, what I loved about it was, I think it was probably one of the biggest things that helped me start to curb my ego. Does that make sense? Like, for me specifically, I've been in this bike world and whatnot for so long that I've always looked for ways to get myself out there more. But this was a way, literally taking road trips with the homies and being around people, you constantly see these badass photos when you're riding next to your friend or you're hanging out. You're walking back to the garage from getting a couple more beers and you see that shot of all your friends in there drinking and having a good time. And you're like, man, like that's a good photo right there. Yeah. And you get to this point where it's like, I want to capture that. I want to capture that because I see it and I don't know if anybody else does, but if I at least capture it, it's just something I want to give to the people that I've done it. I've seen, and for me, it like took me out of like, okay, this has nothing to do with me anymore, and that's one of the things that I love about photography. Haven't quite got to that point with videography yet. There's still a lot of me element involved in it, but photography is one of those things where I literally have asked and intend to go to like Knives Made by Nick. I plan to go wake up with him one morning at his house and just shoot him working all day.
Yeah, that'd be badass.
Just to capture this dude doing what he does, and I'm stoked about that. And that's that thing that I want to do. And so it's harder for me to like look at that. Like I want to go make a whole film documentary almost about him and what he's doing, even though it's a great subject piece to do one on. And if I was trying to get myself out there, that would be a perfect person to do it on, right? He's very photogenic in his nature, right? But, I have the podcast and the video stuff that we were barely getting by trying to make stuff for it. So to go out and do that right now is just, it doesn't make sense, like for us, or for me. But photography is something that I do. I want to, because I'm looking to learn and be better at capturing the environment along with the person, like almost like I think they have a name for it. It's called like and there's a name for it. I'm drawing a blank. It's almost like a work or a environmental or fucking something like that. I don't remember the fucking name, but it's basically like capturing people in their element, doing what they do. I've been able to do that with Britta, with her haircuts. My wife, when she does some haircuts every once in a while, I'll shoot some of that. But, if I was to try to make a video of that, she's going to get annoyed with me real quick. And I'm like, hey, make that face when you cut that hair. You know what I mean? Yeah. You cut that hair good.
Do that again.
Puff your lips out a little bit when you cut that hair. Hey, man, look like you're, having an orgasm while she does that. Next thing you know, I got a new Pornhub video coming out.
Look like you're enjoying me telling you to do this.
Yeah, the directing is a hard thing to do, man. But I'm learning that in photography, even doing that, like if you're doing a shoot for somebody, you kind of have to direct them, because some people have been photographed a lot, so they kind of have some natural vibe that they kind of carry on that makes it really easy to shoot them. And you just got to pull the camera out and just fucking start clicking. But some people are awkward when cameras come out, and you got to make them feel good.
Majority of people are awkward.
Yeah. I was for a long time,
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys on the tour, I'd walk up with my camera and they see that it's pointed directly at them. I ask them a question. They're always like, yeah, and then walk away. And it's just, and I don't expect them to be able to do it, because I know I wouldn't. You point a camera at me, I'm going to do the same shit. I'm real good at pointing it at other people, but if it's pointed in my direction, I'll get real awkward.
Yeah. As a understanding of that's how it always felt going to the camp out when Sandoval would come out. Adam Sandoval would come out with his YouTube stuff and start trying to interview us as we're packing up our tents, hungover, trying to go. He's like, hey, so what's the Fast Life camp out about? I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm fucking drunk.
Where you been, dude?
Yeah, the video stuff is very inspiring, but it's also a fucking suck of time. How long do you think you have as we sit now in making the video, just the editing, and where do you predict it being when you get done?
I'd say right now my computer has fucked up on me 3 times. So I've lost progress 3 times. There was like 2 weeks where I just didn't even look at my computer because I was just tired of it. Every time I'd do something, I'd lose it. So sat back and just kind of collected myself, had computer technician come out, look at my stuff, and still didn't get it sorted out. But there's still somewhat of a deadline to meet.
Yeah.
So if I keep losing progress, I'm just going to keep fucking trying.
Yeah.
Like I'm saving, like every time I make an adjustment, I hit the save button. Boom, file, save. Just like, so that doesn't happen again. I would say solid 70, 75 hours. Just, and that's sitting at the computer.
Yeah.
Working on
Where
it.
you're at right now?
Yeah.
Where do you think it'll be when you get done?
I don't know, man. I was just up till 5 in the other night. I was up till 3 in last night.
Yeah.
And that's starting at like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Maybe double that. No, I'm going to try to have it done within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, probably double that. 120, 140 hours.
Yeah. That's the type of video that you're making. I think that's up that alley. Have you got to the point where you envisioned the way that you wanted to tell that part and then did it and then it just didn't fit or didn't look right, so you kind of went back to the drawing board?
Yeah, I've come to a complete stop a few times just because, like I said, I wasn't able to catch everything on the tour. I wasn't able to get certain riders or certain builders all that much. Yeah. Until we got to Born Free or your shop. Yeah. Then everyone's kind of sitting still. Then what, So, yeah, there's been a few of those, but I've been able so far to pull it out of my ass and make it happen. Yeah.
Well, like I said, the way it's coming out is I'm excited. I'm excited as hell. That I think, for you guys listening, Sax and I did earlier today before we had sushi and whiskey. We did a podcast for the Tucker Speed guys, and we kind of talked about this a little bit on that. I feel like it's our job to also, or my job at least, to start trying to get people out there that consume content, consume photography to start, I don't know what the word is, like start paying a little more attention to how much work goes into that stuff that you just fucking slide right by.
Yeah. And most people I know think that way, like, oh, they're bitching about Instagram or whatever, followers, or I don't care about all that. I want to ride bikes. Okay, I understand that. But the people that you've met and ride with today, pretty sure you met them on Instagram. And it's basically all motorcycle content. People are taking their time to up it. They're not just shooting a picture with their phone or they're trying to.
Yeah, Big Will Cody's a prime example of that.
Yeah.
He said to me, he's like, we go on these trips and you get these badass shots with your camera, and I want to do that. I want to create that. I want to capture stuff like that as well. And dude went all in, It's weird for me. Not weird that he's doing it, but it's just weird because, it's Big Will Cody, you know what I mean? Like,
I never expected him to do that.
Yeah, of all the guys, I wouldn't have, and that's, I'm judging you, bud. Like I figured you would have got another DWI before you got a fucking camera. I'm fucking with you. I know. I love you. But also seeing him like take the initiative and want to learn that is inspiring to me. Like that's cool.
He didn't just go buy a fancy camera because he's got money. He's actually got interest in it.
He's interested, yeah.
And that's why she bought it for him.
Yep. He was going to buy it, but she offered, and I thought that was pretty rad of her. And I definitely was trying to get my wife to take note. I'm like, hey, babe, there's this lens coming out.
Right.
I want to see more of my friends for sure, like lean into the things that might inspire them and take initiative to try to learn it or make that a part of their existence. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, customizing bikes or picking up a camera or anything, I would love to see somebody that's like getting into more the art side of the motorcycle culture and industry,
Yeah. I met that Chicken Fried Choppers.
Yeah.
That dude. He just picked up a camera a year ago. And he's got some solid shit.
You can't see him, hang out with him, and not be like, I feel better about myself. He's a good vibe.
Yeah, he's a good vibe for sure. Yeah, that was the first time meeting him at Born Free, Texas. I didn't know who he was when he walked up, but he had a camera and introduced himself. And I was like, oh, shit. Turns out he was like shooting for Harley and stuff.
That's the one thing I don't know how to do. I don't know how to like shoot for people. Like I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to get a gig. And I think part of it is like, I know I've said this before and maybe you've heard me say it. Like I'm kind of scared sometimes to make money off photography directly, because I feel like it might turn into something else for me. So I like to bitch about not getting paid to shoot photography, like complain, you know. But in reality, I'm not really aligning myself to be in a place to get paid to do it at all anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm honestly, of course, we all want to get paid for it. There's also those times where you'll just bring your camera just because you want to. And you want to, and I don't think that I will ever get away from that.
Yeah.
Like, there will always be times where I'm going to shoot stuff for free.
Yeah.
Because not only does that make me better, I'm able to catch real situations, real like meaning and feeling. Besides, here, I've just paid you whatever.
Yeah.
Shoot this for me. And then you feel like
confined.
It's like an obligation to, I don't know. It almost kind of like gets in the way.
You know, unpacking that a little bit, like, let's say a magazine hits you up and go, hey, if you're going to be at Born Free, can you just photograph the event to the extent that you're able to capture it? So yeah, you're making an initiative every day. You wake up, you're walking around shooting stuff, trying to be at the dirt drags and you know, the Ives Brothers wall of death, and capture as much as you can to bring back to the table. Or if a brand says, hey, I want you to, you know, here's a product, can you give me some lifestyle photography based on this product, right? So now you got to go curate that feeling. It's like someone saying, hey, you know, I wanted you to paint my bike, but do whatever you want. Bro, whatever I want is not what you want. Do you have a color? Guide me in the direction that you're wanting me to go, at least. So having sometimes a purpose to do something, because me, I don't really like event photography. I like to be in the event. I don't want to stay out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if I'm there to shoot it, then I have to be at it from a different perspective. I'm not in there, you know, drinking, partying, having a good time. I'm on the outside, you know, capturing shots and people and things and trying to be present for all the things that might happen. So it's just a different relationship with motorcycling and content capturing and all that.
Yeah, and it sucks because when I was like, okay, I'm done for the night. Like, I'm going to put my camera up. I think I got enough. We've been at Born Free for 3 days. I'm just going to have a drink and hang out. Then we go into that bar, and they're doing strip karaoke or some shit.
Yeah.
Lap dance karaoke, and it's like a whole crowd of people, and Oliver Peck's in there, and just everyone's like having a blast. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I should have brought my camera. Those are the worst times. It's when you decide to leave it, is whenever you need it.
You know, the cameras that we carry around, like my camera's a little bit bigger than yours. Not my rig. You have a camera rig that's pretty massive. And if you're carrying that around, I can see how that gets that way. But the lenses and stuff, it's like, I'm going to carry this camera around and you just got it around your neck the whole time. And I guess in my mind, I want to get to the point like Michael Lichter, where I'm walking out, I have a camera on each shoulder, and I'm just trying to capture everything, you know, just try to be present. I got this camera with this lens. It's got a longer focal length, and I got one that's more for close-up stuff. I'm just fucking shooting, bam, bam, here, there. I'm here. I'm getting this. Hey, let's all jump on the bikes and let's go do this. And then bam, I'm getting these badass shots. You know, like you ever looked at like some of Danger Dan's people that shot him?
Yeah.
He's always got the raddest photos in existence.
Yeah, he does.
You know, obviously he's doing the thing that gives people the opportunity to capture it. You know, that's it. Like, hey man, Dan, go do some fucking Danger Dan stuff real quick and let me know where you're going to do it at so I can come get some pictures of it. And he's got a plethora of, in my opinion, some amazing shots, you know, of him riding his chopper, doing, you know, flat track or going through mud or whatever the case may be. Like where, like I think I was asking you on the drive home from Tucker's, you know, once this video is done, like how do you capitalize on that? And I know you had talked about some things. I don't know, like where do you go from that?
Well, as of right now, it's really just me proving a point to myself.
Yeah.
It's not so much of this is make it or break it. This is what's gonna put me on, you know. If it does, hell yeah. But really, it's just, like I said, I will never do away with bringing my camera somewhere, even if it's to shoot something for free, because it's only helping me, you know. And I feel like this was an experience that I could not pass up on. Being so in my head, like visually, things that I want to do and portray with the camera, this was just something that I could really
lean into,
try to go all out on, you know, whether people dig it or not.
Dude, there's no, like, of somebody that consumes a lot of content, like what I've seen, there's no way they're not going to dig it.
I appreciate that.
It's just impossible. You know, there's so much of a production value that's gone into what I've seen. You honing it down and refining it is only going to make it better and better from what it already is. You know what I'm saying? Do you dabble with like an issue between like wanting to shoot photography over video?
No, usually they go hand in hand. I don't ever go anywhere for a shoot and only do one thing. You know, it's always going to be, if I'm shooting a bike, I'm doing video and photos. Like if I'm walking around an event, video and photo. I've never really had that issue if it's going to be one thing or the other. I still I haven't had really any clients that have told me they only wanted one thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's
crazy. You've actually made some money from people shooting something.
Not much. Only like 3 people.
You got like 3 numbers in your head and you're going to hit them high and...
No, I don't even hit them high because I usually lowball myself because I don't want to like be that guy and be like, yeah, there's going to be $5,000.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I've barely been doing this for like 3 years, 4 years, you know. I don't have the right to charge people like that. I
mean, with inflation, though, you're probably in the right spot. But I think I was just wondering that because what is videos that people want these days? You know, it's, you know, like a client's probably not asking you for a full-on YouTube video, but what people need a video for, like, you know, I might need a video to showcase a helmet in a reel, but that still can be done with a phone and kind of lazily, if you will. Or it can be, you know, we can get the smoke machine out and some lights and fucking start doing some stuff, right? And once you start going those routes, you have a lot more ability to charge more for those things.
Yeah. And there's definitely things that I'm limiting myself on, like the whole social media creator thing. Like there's trends on like different styles of transitions, like speed ramping and, you know, just crazy effects and stuff. And that's just not me. You know, it's cool. I like it, but that's not the kind of stuff that I want to do. I make what I see visually and obviously what I think that the customer would want. Obviously, you see my work, don't expect me to go do no crazy transition stuff.
Like I feel like I have the ability to do some things video-wise that I haven't shown the world yet. I've kept myself from doing it because I know how much time it's going to take to create that thing. That's kind of the thing that scares me away sometimes. But I have videos in the can right now ready for some editing and they're shot high production shit. And I'm just like, man, you start to look at the footage you got and I'm like, okay, well, I spoke kind of dumb in that spot. But that spot is like a vital part of this video to come together. And then I'm like, I don't know if I can recreate that entire scene to go fix that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I deal with that every time I'm about to make a video. I go shoot it, come home, filter through my camera and look at all the footage. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this? And then I push it off for a week and then I get to it, start editing and I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what it is, but every time, like once I actually sit down, whether I don't even have to be trying to put the video together yet.
Yeah.
I just cut up a bunch of clips in order. Just doing that will get the ball rolling for me.
Yeah.
And I will sit there for fucking hours putting a video together until it's done. That's how it is.
No, I know what you mean. Like you start kind of cutting that one clip and it starts coming together and you add another one. And as long as everything starts feeling kind of cohesive, you just keep rolling down the fucking path.
And then you get ideas on what, you know, you're like, oh, I shot that and I can put this in between these 2 clips and that'll
tie it in.
If you're looking for high quality motorcycle lighting, then check out Custom Dynamics. It doesn't matter if your motorcycle has been around the block or it's fresh off the showroom floor. They offer a wide range of LED lighting options for various models, as well as custom applications. They have been in business for over 25 years and are committed to providing top-notch products at competitive prices. On my FXR chopper, I'm running one of their custom application LED taillight strips and their industry standard 5.75 LED headlight. And on my Lowrider ST, I have been running their Pro Beam Series LED turn signals, taillight, and headlight. You can check out their website at customdynamics.com to explore the available LED lighting options for your motorcycle. And don't forget to follow them on Instagram at Custom Dynamics. Yeah, that's the thing about editing. I think that, you guys out there listening that are just motorcycle guys, like we do podcasts that are more video photography based, and this is one of those. It's the concept of like trying to maybe peel back the onion of what it actually takes to make videos. And I think that some of what even my idea of what it is to make a video versus once I started diving down this path, like it's, we were talking about in the car, it's kind of like a real good video is a collection of a lot of smaller clips, not like, hey, I'm going to go ride down this highway and I'm going to record 20 minutes of this ride. Like that's not a video that's people are going to resonate with. 10-second clips of that video, you can put something together that tells the story of what you just did in a way that, not to make it quick, but if you really think about like a movie that you watch, not every sequence is like some 20, 30, 45 minutes, one shot of, this car going down the road. If you go watch Gone in 60 Seconds, it's shorter clips of the cars doing what they're doing. Not them following, they're turning right, then turning left, and it's all one continuous video, And that's, I think, the thing that I know I did not register that some of those things were that way. It's kind of it's like you just watch a movie, that's what it is. You forget that there's cuts and there's all these things that put something together, Yeah. And it's kind of like what you've done with the tour video. It's like if you being like a person that's in it, there's things that I see that you put in areas that maybe not be in timeline of that moment, but it helps tell the story of that thing by putting it in there.
Yeah.
In that area. There's so many ways you can be creative in creating a video, and you can use a lot of footage that have nothing to do with the video. Like you've got some of that in there, but it helps tie in the video to like a human element.
Yeah.
The coffee shop thing, the bar thing, all those things that you got in there to tell that intro are easily things that set the tone and the vibe and the feel. You didn't tell me like the initially, going through downtown Waxahachie and doing all that stuff and then seeing it, like I'm like, oh shit, that came out dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not exactly how I visioned it, but I was able to still somewhat tell the same story I wanted to. I don't know. I'm excited to finish it and release it, and I hope if you're even still listening that you enjoy it, share it, like it, subscribe it, do whatever to it.
So when the video comes out, it's going to be on the Me, My Machinist, and I YouTube. Then after like a month or so, Sax will release it on his. You've got another viral video out there.
Put that in the past.
So before Saxon decided to be behind the camera, his short time in front of a camera. That wreck,
I did it on purpose.
The wreck that sung, like you own the hood ride in Dallas.
That was my shit. Yeah.
It looks so much more gnarly than it actually was.
No, that shit sucked. I couldn't walk for like an hour.
That was my first video I ever made. Was that?
Oh really?
Off that event. Yeah,
dude. I thought I was up there with the big dogs, doing wheelies and shit. Which, I mean, I had been doing wheelies on that bike the day I bought it. I fucking popped a wheelie on it. But trying to do it with a bunch of actual stunt riders, I didn't know what I was doing. I went back a little too far, hit a pothole.
Oh, it was a pothole?
Yeah, fucking my fender hit some kind of dip, busted my taillight, and fucking sent me sideways.
Everybody just saw a back. You're the guy with a backpack on, probably got some pills in there or something.
I need some drugs.
Oh man, that shit was wild. I didn't actually get that footage. I think Eloy, Eloy's video that he gave me the footage to put in the video I made. But yeah, that shit was gnarly, man. It was wild too, because like we're on the hood ride. It's like you're riding through the streets, technically doing a bunch of illegal shit. So it's like as long as the dude's not dead, you kind of keep it moving and just like, hey, get your shit out of the way, get to the side, and then keep it going. But because not just you, I think Clay's bike got fucked up too on that deal. But he didn't wreck. He just like
after I wrecked and got back on the bike and started heading to the bar, we passed him, broke down.
Yeah, he
on the side
ended
of
up
the road.
getting his bike to Anvil, and they parked it in the bar for like, it was there for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, no shit.
Just sitting in the bar because we just stored it there. But there was another dude that wrecked pretty gnarly on that one too. It's just that video didn't get his.
He didn't wreck as cool as I did.
Yeah, you definitely wrecked the coolest on that one. Stunt riding's not easy, dude.
Hell no. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being like in the middle of that shit trying to film it all, like turn around backwards on a bike or something while everyone's around me doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
Because most likely I'm not going to wear a helmet. You know, it's kind of hard to shoot that way. But
Yeah, shooting. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It's like shooting video. It's like once you kind of get turned on to shooting video with like a mirrorless camera or something like a DSLR, any kind of full frame thing, and then you like go back to shooting with a GoPro. It's like, oh my God, this looks horrible compared to what it would look like.
yeah.
There's so many things that the GoPro makes easier, like stabilization and keeping a smooth shot. But the video is okay, but it's not as like cool as it could look. But it's one of those things that, do you really think everybody out there notices the difference in that versus?
I know artistic people are more drawn to it, if you have good graphics and quality. But yeah, I think most people watching YouTube, for the most part, they don't give a shit about that. I think it's more of a vibe. And
I wonder if like, because the narrative of what YouTube has been with motorcycle content, the people that really consume a lot of that content, if they're really would allow people, meaning like, do they want everybody's content to look and feel the same, or do they want new flavors coming in and kind of showing things in a different perspective?
well, I think that's kind of with Get Bent Moto.
Yeah.
There wasn't really many people out there doing high quality motorcycle shit, you know? And then he came and started his YouTube channel, and people were drawn to it, not only because they're learning about these people and their bikes, but it's good quality stuff.
I'm thinking about like the YouTubers that do like the vlog style stuff, like how do you take, because that concept is about keeping it simple. That way you can stay with a quick upload times or, a schedule, if you will. When you start looking at some of it, you're like, man, like what if you would have took time to shoot that part right there in a more sequenced way rather than like, just holding the GoPro up and walking around and telling, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's definitely nice to mix the two. So shoot everything with your GoPro, but then the things that you want to really pull your audience in, shoot that with a mirrorless or DSLR or whatever, and then slow it down. I mean, that's kind of where I got my ideas, was watching these dudes called Nelk Boys on YouTube. Yeah. They started out as just like pranksters and shot everything on just, I don't know, a phone. And then their videos, like their quality in their videos just completely changed. It went from that to they would film like talking into the camera with a GoPro. But then once they get to like the party, like everyone's partying, drinking and stuff, then it would switch to a more cinematic, like you were there type of thing, And I think that's kind of, people look for that too. That really pulls them in.
Same thing with like when we started doing this podcast, like the first video podcast that we kind of put out there was, everything felt flat. Everything from the lighting in that studio that you helped me build, the way it was decorated, if you will. And now that it's like kind of got character in there and lighting, it creates a vibe. And that vibe is kind of like the creation of like what you come to know in a podcast. Like I can look at clips of Joe Rogan and know what era and studio he was in when they shot that, From the old ones with the mug shots in the background to the red rocket that he had when he first moved to Austin that was like a spaceship thing, and then to now when he has that cool little sign behind him, But the thing about Rogan's podcast is it's kind of it's not cinematically like lit in any kind of way that makes it nicer, but it's like a consistent, palatable. It's just good. It's just across the board good. So there's not like, he's not like lowering the lights and highlighting one person and kind of going to the extremes I feel like I've done in some aspects or some other people have. And I wonder if there's something to it. Like I wonder if like maybe the audience doesn't want, like a podcast audience, they don't want it to be a cinematic piece. They want it to be a setting that feels familiar,
Yeah.
I don't know. When you're creating a podcast, that's what you're trying to do. Is you're trying to make people feel like they're a part of it. They're in the conversation. It's just that their microphone's muted, right? Like they're in it. They're listening to it. They feel like they're in the garage hanging out with you, or whatever the case may be. And I don't know. Like me personally, like I want to make everything look better and feel better. Like that makes me feel like I'm making a better product. But I wouldn't say that because we started doing that on our podcast, it gained more listeners or subscribers or whatever you would call it. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's different audiences,
Yeah.
Some people, they don't care for video, and some people, they would prefer.
Just gotta work.
Hello, ladies.
Now I feel like a nerd doing a podcast. Some girls are coming in. Good, they didn't look.
If they're still listening, thank you for listening, and thank you for having me on. I know you probably just doing it to be nice, but no, I do appreciate it.
No, I really like you, man. No, it's of all our homies, all the guys that help start Bike Night, you being part of it, you always want to find the guys that that do better or can be on the microphones, right? But it's hard sometimes. Not all of us, you have to work that out a little bit. Get comfortable with it. Listen to yourself, do a couple of them, and be conscious of how you feel like you sound, and then come back to the drawing board and be like, all right, I'm gonna make it a point to do this or that. And I mean, like when we did the new studio, Who's This, when it was you and Matt and Clay, like I get it how it can be this, but don't get me wrong, like I felt like I wanted to do this podcast because of the video that you got coming out, and we didn't even talk about like you just upping and coming to Salt Lake City, to me that was a flex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we went over that with Chandler on the Hoggish podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, if you want to make any progress with your life, you got to do things that, push yourself to do things that aren't comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
We never been here in our lives until we just upped and moved here,
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even come check it out before we moved here.
Yeah.
Just things like that, it's just, I feel like it's the best thing I could have done for myself, for my brand, from just my creative space. It definitely helped me, and it pushed me to be more creative, and it gave me more ideas, more things to shoot, more people like Chandler, who is also a hustler, and, having those kind of people around, that helps
Motivate and push. Yeah.
And not that I didn't have that back home, because working with you, you were a big motivation and inspiration, and I had all that at home. But when you go somewhere completely new and kind of have to find those people again, I feel like that just helps you as a human being, and that no matter what you're doing, whether you're an artist or you're a salesman, something, being somewhere new, not knowing anyone, not having anyone to fall on or whatever, you have to make it work.
Yeah. It was inspiring to me when you did it. Like at first I was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, really? But then you did it and you struggled. I watched you struggle initially. Mm-hmm. And you took the job at Harley and it wasn't paying great, but you did it, and you and Shannon stuck it out in an apartment that was, whatever. I mean, I didn't think it was super bad, but it was just whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is bad to be in Salt Lake. And then now, like, you're in this fucking baller ass spot. Not that you're a baller now, but kinda. I mean, everything's pointing towards that.
We're definitely living a little better than before. That's for
but
sure.
That's in less than 2 years. You've created almost a better life for yourself here than you had at Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, that's inspiring me. You know what I'm saying?
And that falls in the same boat, being at home, I was comfortable. Mm-hmm. I had friends and family that, if things didn't work out, I could stay with them, or I could, hey, you think I could borrow $20 or something, But here,
who do you ask for help?
Nobody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to text someone, hey, cash at me some money. Then I feel like a crackhead, I felt I needed it. Mm-hmm. I needed that push, because it made me work harder than I had before to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything about it. you know. Plus, you know, it's not a bad spot to live. You know, it's beautiful out here.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a bike scene here, so it was easy to kind of...
I had no clue there was a bike scene at all before I got here and started working at Harley. Or I went up to Tucker Speed within, you know, a couple weeks of being here because they had some type of bike night thing, and then went up there and saw that there was a bunch of performance bikes and choppers, and
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay. And then you come down here, and then I meet up with Chandler, and he's all about FXRs and shit.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that was pretty cool. You know, I knew about FXRs. You were always about FXRs. And not that I never had an interest in them, but moving here, it was kind of like I was put into that scene just like immediately. Just like, bam. Not that I own one. I should own one at this point, but that's like all my stuff is. All my photos, all my videos, all FXR shit.
It's not a bad bike to be on. I think over the years I kind of lost. I started chasing the big wheel. I started chasing the fun and and what was the performance bagger scene, and it's been great, and it's brought so much great shit to my life. This tour, it just like reinvigorated like things that have been dormant in just motorcycling for me, in the creative side of motorcycling, from like customizing and building. And so doing this tour just like really woke up a lot of things in me that haven't felt in a long time, and it made me realize that like you know, I kind of prefer to have bikes that require more from me than just the money that I've spent on it. You know, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate how amazing it is to walk up, get close to the bike, hit the run button, and it clicks on a nice fucking 2020 bagger with everything you can think of wanting to have on it. There's something amazing about that bike.
I mean, it better, you know, it's $40,000.
I love it. I do, and trust me, it's like it was a hard thing to part with, but I think for what I've needed to be scratched, the itch, if you will, it's not like that kind of bike is not doing it for me right now. And I'm not going to say it's FXRs. It's a bike like what the FXR that I just did put me into. You know, I just want to make stuff that I think is cool. I don't know that it's an FXR or a chopper or a Dyna or what. I just want to try to make more shit that just feels cool. And it's kind of like the same thing. I mean, you can wrap that up into photography and videos. It's like, I just want to make things for myself that I'm proud of, and then hopefully put it out there.
Exactly.
Instead of feeling like I got to make what the world wants. And one of the biggest things I kind of realized through doing, you know, the FXR as opposed to the ST or even the bagger over the last couple of years is that there's this kind of like box around those other bikes. And the box is the restraining of how you customize it. And it's not so much that like people are making the box, it's the bike. You have a $30,000 Road Glide that you're making payments on. The last thing you want to do is cut the neck on it, cut parts off of it to make it this or that. So you kind of build it within this means of keeping the value or keeping it sellable or keeping it to where you're not fucking yourself, right? So you get stuck in these boundaries that are either put there from the way the world thinks these types of bikes should look, or the way that the money that you still owe on the bike is going to remind you, hey, you sure you want to do that? Or, you know, whatever the case may be. But I found that like having a $800 frame and, you know, a $2,000 drivetrain laying, it's like at that point, like you're not capped in anything. Like I know what I'm doing. I know the direction I'm going. And now I want to figure out how to make every little part of this thing cool. And it was so fucking freeing, you know? And I wish I was more eloquent in talking about it that really could do it justice. But the truth is, it's like that bike has changed the way that I want to do everything in my life. And that's where, you know, being on this trip and doing everything I'm doing and pursuing now is because of the way it felt to make something I truly wanted and not what I felt like everybody else wanted. Was a very freeing thing to do. And now I'm applying it to every aspect that I can. Yeah. And I could be fucking myself.
Well, I mean, that's what, it's like I said, I was doing the whole reel thing that's what got it all started, you know, and I was trying to put out as many reels as I could just to like get my stuff out there. At the end of the day, like at some point I was like, I'm not doing this just so I can be relevant. Started focusing on what I felt like I wanted my work to portray to the world instead of what everybody else is doing and trying to copy that.
Do you feel like you have like people in the video world or photography world that you find like inspire you or influence you at all?
Photography, there's quite a few, but video, not really. Too many people are just trying to be on the bandwagon of the next trend, and I haven't really. I mean, the dudes at Tulane, they kill it, you know. But other than that,
there's not a lot of cinematic motorcycle content. And the one there is, if you go down the chopper path, there's a ton of cinematic stuff. But I think that it takes, you know, for people that might be more versed in our podcast or more into the modern bikes, so they might not have the interest to look at other types of bikes. They want to see the vibe of what the chopper scene, I think, has with their a lot more photographers, a lot more people making videos. Like Dice Magazine alone has so many badass videos that they've kind of curated through Michael Schmidt and these other guys that make badass stuff. You know, it's like it's easy to fall in love with that kind of thing, but then you're having to look at it and almost like imagine. I mean, because the feeling is similar to be on an open road on a bike, no matter what it is, but there is a difference between riding that chopper, the FXR chop, across the country versus the bagger versus if it was a fucking panhead or something like that. Like, they're all different. A Sportster, it's all different, but it's the same, you know. But there's a lot of people out there that make cool shit. It's just that, like, I think that there's not a lot of people in our performance scene that have made stuff other than the guys like Get Bent Moto and stuff like that. There's like I said, there's people making shit, right? But man, the chopper world is just, it's so rich in content, and I'm discovering a lot of it now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, my first actual chopper event, I mean, I've been to some shows, but event was Born Free Texas, the first one. I was like, fuck, I fell in love with choppers then, you know. I wanted to build one. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of really solid photographers for sure in that area.
Sometimes, you know, if you get too wrapped up in everybody else's work, it can kind of like jade you on your own shit. So sometimes not engulfing yourself in other people's creative places will help you stay a little bit more true to yourself.
And that's basically what I do. Like, I'll go to YouTube or whatever to find, like, how do I do this? Because that's what's in my head, and I want to be able to do that. Not that I've watched this videographer stuff and I really like this thing that he does and I want to do it. It's more of like, when I get an idea, then I'll look to those guys
to do it.
How to do it.
It's kind of a contradiction to what I've been talking about, of trying to put yourself in a place to consume more things that inspire you. And I guess take that with a grain of salt, because that might be watching other people's videos or studying other people's photography or, you know, something to that matter. But I could also agree that, like, if you consume too much of other people's stuff, then you might not think your stuff is good enough.
I do that with photography. I look at everyone's stuff. I'm a pixel peeper sometimes. But I'm still looking at what I could do, not to be like them, but just certain things that they did that, you know, would help me in the long run to portray an image. I don't want to, like, copy someone's style or anything like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing with the styles. Like, you know, I'm 4 years deep with solid practice in photography, and then I dabbled in it for almost 4 years prior to me actually taking it seriously. I still don't feel like I have a style that's synonymous to me. You know, like,
me neither.
I don't like, and I don't know if I want one. Like, I don't know if I want everything I ever do to look the same.
Like, I like to try all kinds of different shit. You know, I have gotten certain aspects of my work getting the subject to really pop. I was real, you know, looking into Chopsky and how he does stuff, but I didn't want to quite, like, take his
emulate
stuff, you know. But dodge and burn stuff, like, I wasn't doing that before, and then I was trying to like do it my way, somewhat, kind of get what he was doing, and then put my spin on it.
Chopsky's work is iconic. I mean, he's definitely probably the photographer of like this era, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. The amount of work that he's capturing and the amount of content that he's creating, how pro it all looks, is definitely something that I would say that he's the guy right now. Mm-hmm. And you know, and through that, I mean, you know, you see a lot of people that have more or less emulated kind of that style that he has. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think it's dope. I mean, whatever inspires people to pick up a camera and try. I know how to edit pretty well, and I don't feel like I take my stuff to the level that he does. Yeah. You know, I feel like he has a couple tricks that he jumps into Photoshop and does that I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't touch Photoshop.
Yeah. But for the same, you know, manner, like, I'm glad that he has a flavor and a vibe and a style, and I'm glad that he found motorcycles to do some of that. Mm-hmm. You know, because that just makes more amazing content, more amazing, you know, content sounds like a bad word, more amazing art out there for people to kind of remember this time for. Yeah. You know, it's late. We should probably go to bed. Yeah. Sax, I do appreciate you letting me and the old lady stay at the crib and all that good stuff, and glad to finally have you on it solo. I think that once you get this video done, I think the world's going to love it. And I think that any doubts that you might have had in this thing is definitely going to get squashed, because it looks good. It's going to, you know, I'm excited. So,
well, I appreciate you saying that. I'm just as excited, if not more, to reveal it to everybody. And I don't know, man. I'm just happy, and I'm ready for people to fucking see it, and all the hours that I put into it. Yeah. I just hope people can at least feel the emotion.
Yeah, at least just watch it, the whole thing. Don't skip through it. Yeah. You know?
Well, I mean, I don't feel like there's any parts in there that will need to be skipped through. Yeah. I'm pretty adamant about making it
engaging the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah. So, no, I think it'll be good, man. So, hey, thank you. And I guess people can, like, are you trying to promote any kind of page to people to find you on at all?
Sax Media on Instagram is my only. I don't really care for any other social platforms. Yeah. So, Sax Media on Instagram.
Out here in Salt Lake. So if you're out here,
now you know.
All right. All right. Thanks, bud.
Peace.
Hope you guys enjoyed that and got to know Sax a little bit. I know he's a slow talker, but we're not going to hold that against him. He's just a very calculated speaker. Thank you, Sax, for all the hospitality, and I'm really stoked with all the stuff you got going on, bud. The documentary's coming. You heard all about it in this episode. It's going to be out any day now, and can't wait to see that. Can't wait for you to see that. As always, guys, please check out the sponsors down below. A lot of great opportunities for you to get some cool stuff for you and your motorcycle. And don't forget about our Patreon, which we are currently working on some new episodes for. Just a lot going on here, getting back to Texas and getting back in the groove of working. I got some new people that we're going to start bringing on for the Patreon episodes. We got some new things we're going to do. And, you know, just so you know, the Patreon is a way to support this podcast. We do want to offer you guys some different things through Patreon, but at the core heart of Patreon is to support this podcast so that we can continue to bring on guests, make these shows bigger and better, and continue to give you something to check out and listen to, be inspired by, and all that good mess. If you guys are going to be in Mama Tried, we are going to be there. The bike will be there. The FXR chop will be there. Looking forward to that event. Looking forward to meeting a lot of people. If you see me, I should be at Simpson quite a bit. Come say hi, man. I want to meet you guys. I want to talk. You know, this ain't a meet and greet by any means. I'm not that cool. I just, you know, I want to get to know some of you guys that listen to the podcast, and, you know, I'm going to make an effort to take more time to, you know, get to know people. That sounds so fucked up, but sorry. It's just, I want to get to know you guys. So come holler at me. And we got a couple more episodes to drop before the end of this month, so stay tuned. Another great one dropping on Friday, and then we got a badass one dropping on Monday, and it's going to be a good time. All right, thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.